Final. Wonder what the Scottish word for misty drizzle is. Plenty of chances to find out here in Knockhill. Getting ready for the Supercar A final, and the 600 horsepower monsters of the track led to the line by David Binks in the Ford Fiesta. Pat Duran and Andy Scott make up the front row of the grid. There is the reigning British champion, Andy Scott, based in Scotland, and runs a small fishing fleet of trawlers. Andy Grant, Lawrence Gibson on row 2, Simon Horton and Gareth Wood in the Subarus, and the Audi of Brian Dukes completing the grid. Away they go, great launch from Duran, but look to the right-hand side of the picture, Andy Scott, and it's 4 wide now. Andy Grant getting his nose in there, but David Binks, whoa, deciding that discretion was the better part of valour as Pat Duran tries Liam's line and throws the car down Duffer's Dip. Well, nonetheless, David Binks is off on the side, and Pat has survived it all. But as Binks comes to a grinding halt, out front is the red car of Andy Scott, the Peugeot with a big advantage. Huge bump as they come down there. Lawrence Gibson in 4th place in the 6R4 behind the red Focus of Andy Grant. Pat Duran sets off in the Fiesta, chasing after Andy Scott's red Peugeot. The Will Gollop built 306. There is Gareth Wood in 5th position. So Andy Scott leads from Pat Duran, Andy Grant in 3rd. Lawrence Gibson in what remains of his 6R4 in 4th position. And looks as though Andy Grant's car is steaming a little there. No, it's smoking a lot in fact, and that looks like it might be a transmission issue to me. Smoke billowing out the bottom. Now let's have a look, all 4 here. Watch Pat Duran, car number 1, watch David Binks. Well, Duran just pitches it in, doesn't hit anybody, spins on his own. Where does Binksy go? Well, as Andy Scott's Peugeot goes through, did Binks make contact there as we were watching Pat rejoin? Hard to tell. Meanwhile, Andy Scott still with that near 2-second advantage over Pat Duran, and they are contesting the win. Andy Grant's Focus billowing smoke ahead of Lawrence Gibson. Pat Duran with a bit between his teeth, needing a good score here. And Andy Scott still relatively inexperienced, only dropped into Ollie O'Donovan's old car at the middle of last summer. Lawrence Gibson, well, those wipes will be smearing the oil smoke all over his windscreen, so his visibility will be getting worse, and Andy Grant is desperately trying to hang on in that car. Here's the battle for 3rd place then, and Gibson getting very close indeed. Former British champion, he's the 08 champion. Meanwhile, checkered flag is out, and it's a great win for Andy Scott. Pat Duran closed a little to the line, but just had nothing to show him. Andy Grant in 3rd, Lawrence Gibson in 4th. Confirmation then, the Subarus and Gareth Wood and Simon Horton 5th and 6th, and we saw David Binks' Fiesta crawling round at the end, but that's a great win for Andy Scott in the Peugeot.